Right, we live. Come up yet? Sorry, mate. Look at that. Welcome back, everyone, to the 12th Man. Tonight, we've got a 12th Man special where we absolutely do nothing but sit here and just chat shit for 90 minutes. So we've got two halves here, we've got two 45-minute shows. Thanks for everyone coming and watching tonight. But let's do it all together. We're all sitting at home, got our feet up. We're watching Darlington versus Walsall. We've got we've got the Ipswich game on in the background. Listen to Brennan Willie. Hopefully, he'll give us some positive vibes tonight.
Some weight.
Jesus, Alan Armstrong looks terrible.
Oh, Regan's ripping us in the comments here.
Regan, nice setup there, lads. Cheers, Regan.
It's my house, mate. Yeah.
This is Dan's house, alright? Dan, my God. But yeah, we've got Dan, we've got Andy, and obviously we've got Mark, his return from wherever the hell he was last week.
I was behind enemy lines.
Where were you?
I can't say. Behind enemy lines.
Can you tell us?
Can you just put this
Yes,
Yeah, just quickly, right, this is an over 18 channel, so if there is any swearing or anything in this video, we cannot be held, accountable for it. So if there is any kids watching tonight, please make sure you put them to bed now, because they should be up this way.
Yeah.
What's that say?
I'm a 12-year-old who has school tomorrow. I can't go to Lincoln on Wednesday night. Well, you're Tim Pot, to be fair.
Alright, so look, any 12-year-olds watching this, you should turn this off immediately, because it's not appropriate for you. But yeah, we're looking forward to the game. I assume it's kicked off. Can someone call Whitby, because I don't know what the squad is?
Yeah, let's get them
Yeah,
now.
it's kicked off.
Yeah, give him a call. So how is everyone tonight? Are we all looking forward to going out of the FA Cup nice and early?
Going from done with, I guess.
Surely it's not worth
So we
going to
don't-
Lincoln.
Well, we don't want to go to Coventry, really, either, do we?
No, definitely not.
Or should we face that?
So you FaceTime with me?
You got
You've not got him.
Oh.
Thomas. Todd Thomas. No. So obviously this week, I had the honour of speaking to Chris Kawamia and Simon Milton last night. That's a nice little indicator. Hug the mic in, can't hear you too well. Regan, nobody hears, mate. You can definitely hear us. We've done sound checks, mate. Hold on, we're calling Whitby.
We call him Whitby.
If you don't answer, come to the channel. Or book a lesson while you're there.
After you finish your message, just hang up. Or to hear more options, please press 1.
Answer your fucking phone like we agreed! Let me down! Fuck's sake!
So everyone, let us know your score predictions for tonight. I don't think there's any goals at the moment. We're listening to that in the background, but we're looking at all the socials, trying to find a link to the game. Not really much on it. Have you found anything?
I only use legitimate websites.
Okay. Pornhub being the main one.
I think you've got a block on his Wi-Fi here, so...
Is that right?
No.
Under 18s?
No.
Are you sure? Can you prove it?
This morning I didn't have a problem watching it. Excellent movies. So.
Oh dear.
He likes some styles.
So Andy, where have you been? You've been on holiday, mate.
Yes, mate, I've been up to Cromer for a couple of weeks.
No, you didn't. Where did you go? Come on, tell us.
I went over to Yarmouth,
Yarmouth. Yarmouth where?
Costa del Ipswich.
Can you tell us about the ping pong show?
I couldn't comment on that, I'm afraid.
Why, man? Everyone wants to hear
It's
it.
not a story that I need to
If you
share.
want to hear the ping pong story, write in the comments.
Yeah, definitely. What's the score prediction? 17-0 from Will.
17.
Will, where are you tonight, mate?
Well, it's a school night. It's a school
School
night.
night, yeah, he can't come out. He's under 18 after.
Yes.
Come on, Ipswich. What's everyone saying?
1-0. Dead. Oh, we've got... What's this guy on about?
Quite.
Quite.
He said, quite says,
Shit, nigga, CCB.
Got someone from Russia commenting in the comments. So should we have a look at the forum and see what everyone's talking about at the moment? Because there's, to be honest, there's not much we haven't covered in the last week. All right, let's
How
start
we
there.
feeling?
Actually,
Yeah.
we'll start the starting lineup. Go to start lineup. We haven't talked about that. Holy's come back in, hasn't he?
Oh, he's back in goal. Same back four that's played the last 2 cup games. It's been, what do you say, solid enough? I don't know.
Well, I went to Colchester. None of you boys went to Colchester, did you? No, you were on holiday, weren't you?
Yeah.
But we weren't very impressive. But the only difference from that is, I think, from that starting lineup is Wilkins starting. Because Ben Falam is still in China as far as I'm aware.
What's he in China for?
Playing for Australia under 23.
Oh, of course.
They won, didn't they? They won a trophy.
Yeah, but they only played 3 games and won all 3. So
Well, they're undefeated then, aren't they? You're going to win the trophy.
No,
If you
defeat,
win
isn't
every
it?
game, you're going to win the trophy.
NCR is back in. Do you reckon he's going to give away another penalty?
I reckon so. Definitely.
If he does, then surely he can be. You know, there's no way he can get back into first team.
No, I don't think so.
That'd be 4 in 5 games.
Whitby's phone.
Oh, here we go.
Hello, Tom.
What are you doing on the couch?
Is that Mike?
No, me!
Is that Mike?
What's going on? What's happened so far? Cheers, Jeff. Yeah, you? You're live on YouTube.
Please do not swear.
You're live on YouTube. Please do not swear. Are you watching us?
What's the score?
You can't hear me.
You definitely can't hear.
No,
No excuse tonight.
no excuse tonight.
Quality.
Oh, commentary, no.
Yeah, we'll be at Coventry next week. Yeah, I'll check me that.
What? No, we're not going to that either.
We're losing tonight.
Have we scored?
Was that a goal? Describe the goal.
Oh,
God, it's
NCR.
Of course.
Oh no, it's going to
Got the
try.
one and only true Farthing coming on.
Been on Lincoln, has it, so far?
All Lincoln.
Do they kick off? Is that why?
Cammy's just said it's been all Lincoln so far, so we're not expecting big things from tonight.
But,
Oh, and he's gone.
Oh, we've
And
lost
he's
him.
gone.
Yeah.
The scenes in the way in.
Cheers, Jeff.
What Whitby was trying to say, it's a really tight, chess match of a game so far. It's been chances at either end, all sorts going on. Red cards, tackles flying in. It's been absolutely mental. That might not be true.
So, well, listen, Wilson's starting tonight, isn't he?
He is.
And me and Andy came across
Oh,
a disgruntled
no.
fan last night who was absolutely
Yeah.
not having anything about Wilson. He was absolutely
really?
livid that the bloke's even in the start line.
Yeah, he said all he does is hoof it and kick out to touch.
That's his job.
And we put it to him that,
Well, you put it to him, I didn't say this, sorry.
well,
Sorry, Jeff.
Luke Chambers, what was he doing against Sunderland? I hate to keep bringing it up.
Mm.
Well, I don't think I really do. But what would you rather?
Yeah,
A player like Wilson puts it out to touch, we don't concede,
Yeah.
we win the game. I think Wilson's been solid since he's been here, and I think he's one of the unsung heroes.
Tom Hanks' favourite player.
Tom Hanks' favourite, what, Wilson? Wilson!
What do you want me to say?
And tell him not to worry. But, we need to be winning games like this, don't we? We should have beat Lincoln at Portman Road. We had enough chances to do it. Mark, you were at that one, weren't you?
What was that, mate?
Lincoln at home.
Yeah, we should have won that. Second half, we were.
But did we look good enough to win that game?
We should have done, but I don't think there was enough chances, really. Well, I don't know. We had Hughes cutting it across the Keane. probably should have been a goal. You know, just Keane was coming in like a fucking bull and china shop, but missed the ball. Kenlock had a good chance. There was chances there. It's just I think there were more half chances than actual chances. So
what about Kenlock? Because he doesn't get a fair crack. I thought he played well against Lincoln, and especially at Colchester. You didn't see him at Colchester, but he played well that night.
yeah, he's got. You know, I think that's what we've seen from him, and that was the whole reason why we were trying to get him back in the team. Really, like to start with, when Knudsen was there, it was we were seeing these flashes from Kenlock. It's just consistency, which he doesn't seem to bring, unfortunately. Much better than Emmanuel ever was.
But would you, like we were talking about this last week, would you consider Garbutt a left back?
No, I think it's wasted there. I don't think Kenlock's ever really done anything wrong, to be honest.
No.
I mean, we'll have at any level you have an off game, and I mean, I can't think of a mistake, unlike Jordan Spence, that everyone's gone completely nuts about, and it's cost us a game.
Yeah.
I just think he's been consistently average, which isn't always.
It's not good.
bad.
It's not good to. Yeah, you say it's not bad, but it's also not too good. You want someone who's going to give you a bit of flair in a game.
But we're playing in League One.
Yeah.
But that's the reason we're in League One. Do you know what I mean? Because players are. If you take our squad overall, you know the only two players that are actually delivering week in week out are Norwood and Jackson, really.
Cavitt's Young.
Where would we be without their goals?
Holy.
Yeah, but you say these things. That's their job to be defensively. It's their job to provide clean sheets. Do you know what I mean?
I think the worry for me is where the goals coming beyond Norwood and Jackson.
Yeah.
We're not getting enough goals from other areas of the pitch for me.
I remember Nolan coming out and saying, I can score 10 goals this season. And since then, he's been quiet.
Has he had a fair run in the team?
This whole Judge Nolan chop and change and who we're going to play out on the wings is really frustrating at the moment. I wish we would just have a settled side.
I've been so disappointed with Judge this season. I know his nut was gone from the QPR interest, but I mean,
His nut was gone.
He's lost his Swede.
I mean, at the end of the last season, when the pressure was off, he was a quality player, and I mean, I struggle to believe he scored 18 goals in one season for Brentford.
Unbelievable, really.
I think I had to look up. He's played nearly 40 games for us.
Yeah.
Hasn't scored. And I don't think many assists either.
2 or 3.
Is it 2 or 3? It's not a lot.
No.
There was a quiz the other day and it said, who's played more games, Judge or... I can't remember what
I
Judge
put
or...
Nolan.
It was either Judge or Nolan, weren't it?
I said
And to be
Nolan.
honest, you say Nolan's had more of an impact, so you would say Nolan, but Nolan's actually played less than Judge, you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
But the guy's nearly racked up 50 appearances doing virtually zilch in the Ipswich Township.
The thing is, did that Luke Heim challenge change him as a player? Because that could have been a career-ending injury, really, to such a nasty break.
Yeah.
Has it changed him as a?
The psychology of coming back from an injury that bad, and what must go through a player's head after something that bad, is clearly going to affect him.
No doubt about that. I don't know where I really stand on the whole Judge conundrum, really. I mean, some people sort of said since he's moved down here, they've seen more of a positive effect. It's had more of a positive effect on him. I've yet to really see it, really. But like we talked about before, the chopping, the constant lineup changes, and we start. There's no consistency going. I don't know if that has had an impact on him. I really don't know. But as it stands, I don't think he deserves to start.
It's that, with these next 5 games coming up,
He's on the show.
I'm worried. I'm worried about these next 5 games.
Yeah, I am too.
I mean, Blackpool on Saturday is a must-win.
Yeah. We just haven't had a run of games. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, it takes.
We've got another weekend off next weekend.
That's why I was
Well,
like,
yeah, if we go out, don't we? Unless we get through tonight. Yeah, sorry, James.
so someone's had a shocking miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need a run of games, and I can't wait. Well, if we go through to the next round of the FA Cup, then I don't think we're going to have a weekend off, and there'll be many weeks where we have a Tuesday and a Saturday game, which would be
Yeah, we should be
really
pretty
good.
busy all the
So
way through tonight.
hopefully we'll start to see players pick up a bit of form. I think Hughes is another player who's been a bit frustrated at the minute, but
Well,
again, I haven't seen enough from him to say, well, you should be starting.
I saw something the other day, today actually, saying that is Hughes frustrated not being given game time, but the guy's had a lot of game time. In the last 4 games, he's played 3 of them. I'm sure he has, and he's starting tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, any game is game time. Doesn't matter whether it's in the cup or in the league.
No.
You've got to come out and show your best. And to be honest,
If your player's been out injured for 18 months, surely you should be grateful for any game time.
Exactly.
Like, you know, it's a part of your recovery and actually getting. You know,
he's not going to challenge the likes of Flynn Downs, Nolan, Scoose at this moment.
Flynn Downs is the first name on the team sheet.
Oh yeah.
So what do you think's the best formation? Because for me, I still don't know what the best formation is.
What do you reckon? Best formation?
4-2-3-1, but he don't play it. I don't know why. That's just my opinion. I've seen it twice. I only saw it in pre-season, and Burton in the second half.
Yeah, but then if you play 4-2-3-1, you can't play Jackson and Norwood.
You don't need to.
Well, you do, because the two complement each other so well.
No, I'm not.
They do. As a fan, like from my point of view, without Jackson and Norwood this season, we'd be done. Yeah.
The game that proved to me that 4-4-2 doesn't really work was the first half at Rochdale, because that was awful. Because
we were, but we were playing 2 wingers at right back and left back, weren't we?
We were, but both strikers were staying forward. The centre mids were all over the place. Nolan's Scouse he did this last season, which frustrated the fuck out of me. He'd be the only one pressing. He'd just press on his own, and then leave a massive fucking gap in midfield. And he still does it now, but we don't get punished as much. But for me, it's 4-2-3-1. But whether we'll ever see it, I don't know.
I mean, I think 4-4-2 is really good for us when we're not playing well. It's kind of going back to the basics a bit and getting the ball moving about. Whereas, I mean, 3-5-2, 4-2-3-1, it's all about working up and down the wings. And I mean, I just don't know. I feel if we had a run of games where we're playing one formation, same team, I think we'd know more, but Lambert's saying, yeah, we need to rotate the squad. Well, actually, I think if he knew what his best squad was, he wouldn't be. And if we had run of games, he wouldn't be.
This is where I disagree with Lambert, because he's come out, I love Lambert's bits, but the one thing I don't agree with is where he says it's about the players, like you can win a game, it's all about the quality of the players, which to an extent it is, but you need a system to fall back on. Like, you need to be having consistent teams.
You're right. You've got to have that. You've got to have that starting 11 to fall back on. And I don't think we've got a starting 11 at the moment. It could be anyone, any week.
I think what we've been saying, we've got a spine, but even that's been sort of fractured a little bit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like now with Holy's gone, jury's still out with Norris for me, and I know a few of you guys on.
Well, Holy started obviously the Colchester game and then this game tonight.
Yeah.
I can't see him being dropped for the league game.
I don't know.
You know, maybe I'm being arrogant actually.
No, I think.
Can I see him being dropped? Yes, I think I can.
I think Lambert's had a call from Wolves, to be honest, and said, I mean, was it only a loan until January?
Yeah.
Has he had a call and said, get him some games, otherwise he's coming back?
Yeah, but let's be
Then
honest.
you got Harry
I'll be
Wright.
honest with you, right? Will Norris has only played non-league football consistently before he went to Wolves with Cambridge. He had a small stint in League Two where he played football. To be honest, this is a natural stepping stone for him because apart from playing that odd game in the Premier League that he did, it doesn't make him a complete Premier League player, does it? He's not played in League One or the Championship yet. Regardless of whether he comes into Ipswich this season, he's going to be playing in the Championship next season as a natural progression. You know, if he doesn't get games here, he'll go somewhere else where he'll get games in January.
I mean, we've seen Holy a lot, and I really rate Holy. I think and I think the 2 centre backs or 3 back, they really trust him.
Yeah.
They know he's going to command that area.
Well,
and come out and collect the ball.
Obviously we
Comes
haven't
off this line for a start.
Yeah, we haven't had the chance to get his views on Will Norris, but Ash spoke to Luke Chambers after the MK Dons game, and he said he's never had a keeper like Holy.
Yeah.
There's so much trust in Holy.
He did actually say that.
He did. So it's like
He did say that. Yeah, I remember that quite well actually. He said like it's so nice to have a goalkeeper that actually comes out and collects the ball.
Yeah.
And when I said that, when I came out and said that, people thought he was actually putting down Bill Kelsey, but the two players are completely different. Bill Kelsey is a shot stopper.
Yeah.
Holy is a very big personality at the back to have. He may not be loud, but he's definitely someone who commands his box. Something that Bill Kelsey will never do.
Kelvin Davis was much like that. He was a brilliant shot stopper, and one of the best shot stoppers I've seen in
definitely
Hampshire.
quality player.
good save with his face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, beautiful face as well. But he didn't come off his.
Sorry,
Oh, I love a bit of Kelvin. He just didn't come off his line like Holy does.
No.
And one of my criticisms of Norris is that he's planted to that line.
Yeah.
He doesn't come off it. I'm not part of the goalkeeper union. I don't really, know much about goalkeeping, but the times I've watched him, he's planted to that goal line.
The difference, I know there's a fine line between arrogance and confidence, and I find Holy seems like a very confident keeper.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Norris. For me, he seems like really arrogant about like the ball will come back to him, and he's like, "Come on, I'm as good with a football as you are," and tries to take it round him. And I wait for the game where he's going to cost him. He's going to try and take it round the attacker, like do a little Cruyff down. He's going to mess it up.
I don't know. There seems to be a lot of
chat round Enciala.
Enciala. What's Enciala up to?
What is he up to?
I mean, yeah, I do wonder. When he came in last season, I thought he's a bit of a player. He looked so strong and fast, athletic, and this season he's just, since he came back from injury, he's just
I'll tell you where he came. Where he
just been
came
a bit
to
of a
head.
lump.
Sheffield United away. Because even though we lost 2-0 that game,
Yeah, he was good.
he was fucking solid.
Yeah.
Absolutely solid. And Leeds, yes, Leeds.
Class.
He was quality, but the injury is not done him any good because he's come back now with a bigger reputation than he had when he left. For whatever reason,
Well, I
it's
think
shot to fame.
It's the expectation that he's played at this level, and because he had such a decent end to last season.
What did I just say?
Corner.
Let's listen to this just quickly. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I think because he had such a strong end to last season, he's played at this level before. There was an understandable expectation that he would kick on with that. But like I said last week, I think not having pre-season hurt him a lot. And he has fallen down the pecking order because Wilson's come in. I thought Wilson would just be a backup really, but he's come in, made it his own, and fair play to him.
Yeah.
Really fair play.
Yeah,
to him.
and Wilson, for all the moaners out there, Wilson does a job week in, week out,
Well,
regardless of what anyone
look at his
says.
record when we've got him in the team.
Oh yeah, I mean we've lost one game with Wilson in the squad,
But
which is ridiculous.
And that was Accrington, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think what you've got to look at is where our youth players have stepped up. Like I think they've stepped up more than probably we expected.
Yeah.
Like, for me, hands down, our two best players this season have been Luke Wolfenden and Flynn Downs.
Danassian looks to have pulled someone down.
Danassian is very, very concerned. There was a clear shirt tug on Andrade. Big call for the referee. He's not come across to speak to his assistant. He's going to make the decision on his own.
That's a great.
He wants Danassian to come towards him and the 10 right back alone. Not going to listen to anyone else.
I think it would be harsh if it's a red card.
Danassian could be on a red card here.
There's a definite tug there and he was in, but I don't think he was going to get the ball. It looked like Holy was going to be pretty comfortable to pick it up.
Last man.
It's off. Ooh.
Yellow
Yeah,
card.
yellow.
It's been let off. You might want to turn that down a bit, mate, because they won't be able to hear.
That's interesting because just reading some of the tweets, people saying Danassian's having a good game and been really confident and composed
See,
on
he
the
was
ball.
quite good at Colchester. Really good at Colchester, actually. I can't fault any player, to be honest, with their performance at Colchester. That goal was so fluky.
Oh, beaten by a tackle.
Yeah.
You know.
I know we say that we're repeating much of what we said last week, but it's been a long week, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I was sitting there Saturday, I thought, oh, it's nice to have a break, but then you sit there and think, crying out loud, how long do you have to wait for another league game?
I mean, I can't. I'm trying to think. When was the last game I went to?
We all got part-time though, aren't we?
Yeah, I haven't seen it in many games this season.
To be fair, I like doing this. I like sitting at home and pretend,
It's
pretend
nice to
I'm
be.
at the matches. You
It's
know?
nice to be in an armchair tonight for a change. You know, for all you armchairs out there, like I prefer this setup. You know, once in a blue moon, but not all the time. But you know, we've still got people like Tom Whitby, Troy Farben, Peter Garner, Mike Herbert. Them guys are absolute god tier when it comes to fans. They'll travel everywhere. I mean everywhere, to the doldrums of society. They will go.
Tom Whitby got back from
Pristina,
Pristina in Kosovo. Yeah. Christina, yeah, Aguilera. He got back yesterday, wasn't it? 8 o'clock yesterday, and he's already up.
And he's jet lagged because he hasn't had any sleep in 3 days.
You can't get jet lag from Kosovo.
Well, you can. He had 2 flights, so it does count.
You're in the same time zone.
Well, mate, look. If you want to tell us about jet lag, you've got to tell us about the ping pong story. So it's as simple as that.
I'll leave it there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. What about the Coke bottle story? Can you tell us about that?
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
You're a fucking liar, tell you.
I don't think that needs to be shown on this family-friendly.
After 9 o'clock, after watching it. Yeah. Is that alright? So it looks like Donatian was lucky not to be sent off there.
Sounds like it, doesn't it? Yeah. That could have changed the game completely.
Look, boys, how are we feeling about this game? Do we really want to go through?
I mean, it's got to be promotion is the real aim, and I'd rather a little run in the Leaston Champions League.
But surely this game doesn't affect our chances of promotion.
Well, it does, because then you're in 3 competitions.
The Fleetwood game will get rearranged, I believe, in January if we get.
If we go through?
If we get through to the 3rd round.
Fuck that then. I don't want to go through. I don't know what anyone else is thinking, but
see, the thing with me is the time for a cup run was all the fucking, what was it? How long were we in the championship? 16, 17 years.
Yeah, that was the time.
We had a period of 10 years at least of being in the doldrums, where literally we've just had nothing to play for. We were just a mid-table side. That's when you want the cup run.
yeah.
That's it. Like the only other time, arguably, you want a cup run is maybe when you're down in the relegation zone, because it can get that winning mentality back. You've seen it with a lot of teams.
I say from a financial point of view, if we get to 3rd round, you've netted 100 grand, yeah, and then you can walk away happy that you've made money outside of the normal Football League pyramid.
Yeah, but straight into Mark Evans' pocket, though, really, isn't it?
I know, but wages wise, that could contribute towards another player coming in January.
Quainer come back.
Yeah, Quainer coming.
I would prefer a leasing.com run.
Yeah, I think we've all. I think what would you prefer? FA Cup run or Leasing.com trophy run?
Wembley.
Because which one do you get to Wembley better? We're the favourites in this Leasing.com trophy.
Exactly, so it's got to be.
But look, we've drawn Peterborough.
Peterborough Wing.
I mean, I'm going to be going to that game because I love the Leasing.com trophy. So
It'll be interesting to see what strength squad.
You're like Ed Sheeran, aren't you?
Yeah, I only like Ed Sheeran, I only go to the EFL trophy games. But
Where the big boys play.
where the big boys go, yeah, definitely.
Did John Roberts win that player of the round? Or has that not been announced yet?
No, it hasn't been announced.
I thought he was going to. He's got a storm. I can't wait for his acceptance speech.
Little Fergie, right? If you took out Tony, Madison,
Yeah.
they'd be fucked, wouldn't they?
Well, they reckon they want to sell Ivan Toney for 17 million.
17 million?
Yeah, that's what they've quoted him for.
I bought him for free on FIFA.
Ivan Toney to Bristol City.
And we know
in
how
January,
realistic
he did it
FIFA
first.
is.
Didn't he already play for Bristol City?
I don't know if he did.
I think he did.
That's Melissa. Isn't it? The other one.
Mo Isa definitely played for Bristol City. I'm sure Ivan Toney had a spell in the Championship.
Ivan Toney will go in January.
He was at Newcastle when they were in the Championship, weren't he? Because he was with Newcastle's academy. Am I right?
Yeah, I think they got him from Northampton. I think.
17
That's
million.
right.
But yeah, as soon as one of them go, I've seen people. I think one of the questions in the live chat was about strengthening January. I've seen a lot of on the infamous Ipswich Facebook forum
Mate,
talking
you
about
should be
signing,
hitting that up Facebook for him.
trying to sign someone going, oh, I think Marcus Madison will be the perfect sort of player
For
for us.
crying out loud.
Or
Yeah,
Johnson
nice
Clark
realistic.
Harris. We're never going to get
We're
anyone
out of our
like
price
that.
range. We don't even
We're
have a
never
price
gonna get
range.
anyone like that. So, you know, so I think January's going to be all about who we actually keep a hold of. Like,
Yeah.
Flynn Downs, I think.
No one's gonna.
No,
No one's.
It'll be the summer. If
No one
anything.
significant is gonna leave in January.
But
Giselle will
you
leave.
never know.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'd
we're
be
not
fine with that.
All right.
I wouldn't.
Sure. I hope you don't take offence to that, because that was a really harsh comment from
He'll
you.
score another cross again.
Yeah, please do. But I mean,
No, Giselle will leave in January. I'm almost.
I'd be
I'd
fine.
rather get. I mean, I'd be happy with $1 million for him, to be honest.
Who else is looking to be sold in January? Do you reckon?
Interest for Judge again?
Judge.
Yeah,
I
potentially.
would, to be honest.
All right. So Judge goes out and
million for
paves
Judge.
the way for youngsters to come in. I mean, look at Dobra for crying out loud.
He's got to be playing.
He's got to be playing.
Well, what's happened to El Mazzuni? He's gone a bit quiet, isn't he?
Yeah, El Mazzini's well played well at Colchester. Just that final ball.
Freddie
I didn't
Sears
think
come
he was
back
bad
in.
in the FA Cup game.
Yeah.
either.
Teddy Bishop.
But Dobra, what is Dobra not? What is Dobra? What hasn't Dobra done that Judge has done? Is Dobra's done probably
Well, he scored a
more
goal.
than I can remember.
He
Yeah.
scored a goal.
Yeah.
Alright,
Scored a
it was
goal.
in the
Two-
league.
Two
You mugged
assists.
him right off there. You mugged him right off.
2 assists.
2 assists
Yeah.
in one game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time he's on the pitch, he's going to do something. You know, he's a feisty little bugger. Like got that red card at Accrington. Probably was a red card in the grand scheme of things, but
Yeah.
he's one of them players. Like I know how you feel about him, Ash, but when he comes on, you know he's going to do something.
Yeah.
Like he's
It's
it's
exciting.
always
isn't
exciting.
It's the
when
Messi
things
effect,
come on.
isn't it? It's the
Yeah,
Messi
you like
effect.
he knows he's going to do something. Judge comes on, you go.
Is he going to do something? Isn't he like?
What's his mind frame like?
Andre
Yeah.
Giselle comes on, and we go,
Just
oh
don't
fucking
know.
hell, there we go. What
See,
you go,
Giselle
Do you know what? You know,
Giselle doesn't
Giselle,
want to be here.
that's a good point you mentioned there,
Doesn't
Mark.
want to be here.
Because when we were at Rochdale,
Yeah.
Giselle came on, and honestly, I didn't know he was on the pitch for 20 minutes.
he nearly fucking cost us the
He
game.
doesn't want to be here.
He headed the ball across their own 6
I
yard.
think it was interesting that he came out during the week, I think it was, and he mentioned that there was interest in the summer, and that kind of put his mind elsewhere. But his mind is still elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's still not elsewhere. So after the Leeds game, I know someone who's friends with him, and
Yeah.
back then there was interest, and he basically turned around and said that he wanted to go. So that's why I'm quite anti Andre.
The thing is, you've got to look from his point of view. What was I saying there?
Just we should sell Judge and get a playmaker like Marcus
It's
Madison.
not going to happen.
Alright,
Not
just
good
hold it
again.
there a sec.
Sign Isaac Hutchinson.
Don't know who that
That's
is.
the guy. Is that lad from Southend?
We can't be that good, can it?
That number 7 for Southend, built like brick shit
No,
outside.
that's they had a young lad who's played quite well for them. I think.
Yeah, well, we're playing number 30.
Gavin, does he play for Southend? Please confirm.
I think Will Keane was a waste. He won't win us games and should re-sign Ward if he gets fit again. What has Grant Ward ever done for us apart from scored a hat-trick on his debut? Tell me that.
That was good.
Ooh,
That was a
I've
good
got to
debut.
jump to his defence there. I think it's a consistent player.
Yeah, well, that's going back to Miles Kennock. He's consistently average.
Yeah, but he did score a hat-trick on his debut.
Yeah, you've just
I've just said what every Ipswich Town fan would say if they were defending Grant Ward, and that is perfectly right. He's done nothing in Ipswich Town shirt. He needs to do something completely different now, coming back from this injury, to get back into this squad, regardless of what division we're in.
Back up right back.
And then I see people, I posted a picture of Grant Ward in an
God.
Ipswich kit with a number 2 on his shirt.
People went into meltdown.
And they went into meltdown. It's like, he's not left. He's still here. He's always been here. His whole recuperation's been with Ipswich Town.
They have
That was
to.
quite
They
publicised.
have to.
He was always going to be in an Ipswich shirt.
Well, the club have a duty, don't they?
Yeah,
They
they have
care
to.
to the players, don't they?
Get him back, get him fit again. And oh my God, Assad, what are you doing, man? Assad, we've got Assad Said in the comments.
Well, yeah, so if you're not careful, mate, I'll block you. Alright? Because I can do that with one touch of a button. So don't get it, mate. Don't get it.
Yeah, big one.
So look, don't mess with me. Alright?
Yeah, that Isaac Hutchinson was number 36 for Southend. Played well against us. So, I think it's going to be that sort of player though. I honestly can't, at this moment in time, I can't see us bringing anyone in January. It would be someone like Giselle or someone who doesn't want to be here going out. Maybe someone in on loan.
Alright, so when we get to January, we definitely need a striker.
Yeah.
Now, Freddie Sears, regardless of what everyone's saying, he's not going to be fit in January.
No.
He's nowhere near fit. We know that.
Fair
When we spoke to Paul, he said
Yeah.
that he wasn't fit and he's nowhere near fit. So the idea of him being back in January is a foregone conclusion. It's not going to happen. So come January, we're going to either have to get someone in on loan that can have a short impact. Give us
Colin
something.
Quainar.
Colin Quainar is not going to give us goals, right?
Yeah, he will.
No.
He's scored 2.
Do you know who I'd like? That Armstrong guy. Is he still at Barnsley? I'd like to play a FIFA.
Armstrong.
The one
Adam
that-
Armstrong.
Yeah,
He's a Blackburn.
He's a Blackburn, yeah.
he's a League One player. How's he doing career-wise?
I think he plays, but he's not very prolific.
He's prolific in League One.
He's been
He's done
found
it for
out.
Blackburn, doing Coventry, Blackburn.
We're not going to be in the market for a sort of player like
Yeah,
that.
but would you said we were in the market for David Goldrick when he scored 20 goals in?
We're in a different place now, aren't we? To be honest.
Were we? We weren't a big hit at the time.
No, but we're in League One now, and we've got someone like Norwood and Jackson.
I
We've
think
just
if,
signed Will Keane,
if anything, it's going to be a loan. I don't think.
It's going to be
or
low.
goal scoring midfielder. Something we
That'd be
thought
perfect.
we had in Alan Judge.
Yeah, but hold on, we've got so many midfielders. Can you actually see someone coming in?
But not who's scoring from midfield.
Well, Flynn Dan's got 2 this season, hasn't he? Nolan's got 2.
Flying header.
Nolan's got 2. Grillon Edwards got 1. He's not really playing midfield though. KV
Ro-
White's got
Rose
2.
got 1.
Rose got 1. They are chipping in. Let's be fair, they are chipping in. They've scored 10. I think I had a look at it a few weeks ago. We've scored over 10 goals from midfield. It needs to be more. At this point in
Yeah.
time, it needs to be more.
It's been
Cole
years.
Scouse needs to score at least 5 goals this season.
Yeah.
But it's been years since we had a goal scoring midfielder, isn't it?
Tommy
And you
Miller.
look at all the teams that do well.
Who was the last goal scorer in a midfielder Ipswich Town had?
David Norris.
David Norris. No. After him.
After him.
Loan player.
Ledbetter.
No. He went.
Tom Lawrence.
Gio!
No. I mean as in central midfielder.
Centre mid on loan.
On loan.
Andy Drury.
No, because we did.
Keith Andrews.
Keith Andrews.
Colin Healy.
Jimmy?
John Walters.
Sounds like we're a bit shaky at the back. Brendan's just said there that was another mistake from Town at the
He's
back.
getting a bit excited
Yeah, it's
about
got
Lincoln.
some league. Sorry, gents.
He's hoping
Yeah.
Lincoln's going to score.
Lincoln are getting a bit close to the goal. So.
Can you give me another beer, mate?
Yeah.
Oh, they
What's
just
the
tackled each
goal
other. Oh, what a pass though. Oh, that's beautiful.
They look like in the rugby kit, to be fair.
They do.
Says who?
It's for anyone who cares, it's nil between Darlington and Walsall.
Not
Alan Armstrong's side.
Is
they've
this Darlington's new stadium?
I don't know.
Doesn't look good.
Yeah,
Apparently we should re-sign Badger.
Ballambina.
No
But it's
buying
definitely
on
bad.
no party.
It's definitely not Badger.
No buying on no party.
No Bina, no party. He was terrible.
He did score
I remember when he started against Fulham. He started in the first game of the season against Fulham, right? Darryl Murphy and Ballambina up front. You couldn't find two bigger, headstrong players, but Bina was shattered by 50 minutes, I think it was. I don't think he even made it through the first half. For a footballer, that's probably embarrassing.
Lincoln have made a sub. Just said it.
Yeah.
Bruno Andrade's come on.
Andrade's one of their better players.
He looked pretty good for
Is
that.
that because his shirt was torn from Donatian pulling him down?
Yeah.
Should we have a check-in with Tom Whitby about NCR?
Yeah, just message him, don't call him.
Is KVY fit yet? We've really missed him. He's amazing at taking defence to attack.
KVY will be back against Blackpool. In what
That's-
capacity, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's the same as Norwood. When Norwood had the op, they said he'd be back for a game, and then he didn't. He was a game late, wasn't he? So I kind of maybe. I don't think he'll play against Blackpool. I think he'll save him for Wickham on Tuesday night.
That's all right. Yeah, no, you're right. I don't think he'll play. He'll start.
Did he reveal anything in your interview?
He didn't, and to be honest,
Eyes peeled for that.
when we spoke to him, I'm not going to bring that one out. I don't think.
No?
It was hard from my point of view as a freelance. I couldn't really speak to him because he's a bit of an introvert. He doesn't like to be outspoken. He's quite a respectable guy who answers your questions, who answers them really well. But when it goes to speaking out a bit more and being outside the box, he wasn't one of those guys. Whereas Norwood was, which is it's a good watch. But KVY, I think we got 4 or 5 minutes worth of footage. That's my fault, to be honest, because I messed up with the camera. But what we did get was good footage. Football League World and Sport Bible, whatever, will send all that out soon. So you will see that interview in whatever way they choose to present it. It's all there, so you won't miss out on anything. But really nice guy, really really humble, and definitely deserved the Fans Player of the Month award.
And he's been a nice guy when we saw him after MK Dons.
Yeah.
And I mean, he seemed very thankful, wasn't he, on the socials after you posted a couple of pictures.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. And the problem is that, cheers buddy, he's so humble that from my point of view as a player, that's my point of view to him as a player, he's not ready for the heights just as yet. I think this season we go up, he'll build with the side.
He's a bit more selfish.
He does need to be a bit more selfish, and you see that from other players. You look at James Norwood. You're not very. I think I had a message from someone on Instagram or something earlier saying, "Oh, do you know any of the players? Can you get me in contact with the players?" No, I don't have any connection with the players. Purpose, and that's on purpose, because they've got a job to do. They've got a job to do. We don't need to be involved, and we're fans. We pay to watch them. Their job is to provide football, to win games. The only thing we can do is have a point of view. That's what we're free to do. We're free to say whatever we want, whenever we please, within certain restrictions. But at the end of the day, we don't want to make their lives harder. These guys have a tremendous amount of pressure on them week in, week out to perform. You imagine being for example, let's take KVY, right?
Their pay reflects it, though.
Yeah, their pay does reflect it. That's fine, right? But that's a completely different eggshell, right? That we don't need to. But it's going to come up at some point. But they come out week in, week out. Imagine being someone of KVY's experience. He's played League 2 level virtually the entirety of his career. He's playing in front of 4,000 at most on the League 2 weekend. His first game was at Bolton. We played I think it was like 9,000 that game, weren't it? Pretty quiet game, weren't it? There wasn't, and this is just after Bolton had announced that they were going to stay in business or what have you. And then his next game was at home, in front of near enough 20,000 people.
Yeah.
And you've got to say that's the biggest crowd he's ever seen. And then take back, Chris Kawamia said, I think it was Simon Milton or Chris Kawamia said, Simon Milton was playing for Bury Town when he joined Ipswich.
Yeah, he was Simon.
And he played in front of 200 people on a Tuesday night. And on the Saturday he came, and it was 15,000 in the crowd at Portland Road. And he said that he was dying not to go on the pitch because of the amount of pressure that he felt from that crowd that day. Being the new sign and being that kind of guy.
And that's when you could only have one sub.
Yeah. And coming into a squad, and you take KVY's performance, it's been unbelievable. That September was incredible work.
Certified baller.
Certified baller. And there's one thing I've got to say. My certified baller question got dropped. Yeah, I was a bit angry about that.
What did you ask him?
I was going to say, what do you think of your nickname, certified baller? Got dropped, mate. Got dropped.
What's the rationale for that?
Yeah, well, I don't get to control the questions. I don't set the questions that I ask, basically, and they set me numerous questions to ask the players.
Yeah.
I'll go in and ask them, and then I can deliver 2 or 3 questions that I think are, suitable for the occasion.
Right.
One of them was certified baller, and that got dropped. Literally, I didn't want to be there now.
So what do we think about Garbett deal in January on a pre-contract? I don't think personally it'll happen in January.
No.
Because
It won't be done.
still Everton's player.
It's already done. It's already done.
I think
Remember
it's
when I
time for
broke the
it.
Garbett story?
Yeah.
Remember when I broke the Garbett story?
Yeah, Andy Warren.
And
Andy Warren. Yeah.
Andy Warren absolutely threw me on the bus, mate. You need to I'm still waiting for my flowers and chocolates as an apology. But broke the Garbett story 9 days before it happened. No one believed me. My sources were very good. Tomato ketchup and mayonnaise.
Yeah.
You can't. There was nothing wrong with it at all. Absolute dead certain. It was in the club that day, and all I said was it was possible with future permanent, right? The permanent deal has already been struck up, in my opinion. He was always going to come on loan until, and on the basis that we get promoted to the Championship, he will sign as an Ipswich Town player, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Absolutely guaranteed.
Good bit of business, I think.
And to be honest, dead ball specialist, really, isn't it? Absolute death ball specialist.
Yeah, and I think he's wasted at wing back, but I think he does more of a job than Edwards does at wing back,
Oh, definitely.
and that's credit to him because he's.
Right, so Garbutt's obviously been brought up as a left back, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Would you agree? Played the majority last season at Oxford as a left back.
I don't know, did he?
When he played at Everton, he was a left back. The idea that he's a winger now is more suited to his goal scoring.
I think towards the back end of his Oxford time, they started pushing him a bit further forward.
They did, and that's when he started scoring goals, and that's why we've got him in the squad now.
Yeah.
My idea was, if we played a 4-4-2, which we could possibly do this coming week against Blackpool, I would play Kenlock and have Garbutt in front of him.
Yeah. Why not?
Because Garbutt's not a runner,
No.
but his technique on the ball is second to none.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like I said last week, I write about him in a 3-5-2 because he gets going forward. He's tremendous, great, but coming back, he leaves the back exposed. Whereas if he's playing in a traditional 4-4-2, he knows what his defensive duties are, and that means he doesn't overlap maybe so much. I think he would be a good signing for us, permanent signing, and I have no doubt that'll happen in the summer.
Yeah.
It won't happen. I think everyone would love for it to happen in January, but why would it?
It's an interesting one. Let us know what you think about Luke Garbutt signing on a permanent in January.
Get Akinfenwa in January.
Oh,
Judge was unhappy there.
Judge could have been fed free there for a goal by the sounds of it. What were you saying?
So got a comment saying get Akinfenwa in January and give Wickham Keane.
I really can't see it.
I don't think that's the
let's
key.
discuss this, right? How long have we got left? What, 4 minutes out of time
Yeah.
before we have to call this
4
one
minutes.
quits? Make sure you join us for the second half. Let's quickly go to what Akinfenwa brings to Wickham, right? Not only does he bring global success with his, his social media beast mode empire, but he brings goals to a Wickham side. He makes things tick. He makes it work. And I think he's not. What's he got? 7 goals this season.
Yeah.
Norwood and Jackson.
Yeah.
And he's bloody 10 stone heavier than both of them.
It's fucking massive.
I mean, I was thinking about it earlier. I can't remember who we played. We played at home. We lost. Did we lose 2-0? Was it Rotherham?
Yeah.
And they had that big centre forward. Although he was
Correct.
tall,
Central defensive midfielder playing up front.
I'm a bit concerned about Akinfenwa next Tuesday
Toto's gonna.
and how we're going to deal with him because we've shown we can't deal with big centre forwards.
See, that's nothing I question about Toto. I don't know whether this injury has affected him. When he came in at times last season, there's always, he'd come off the bench like last minute corner, and he's a big presence, and you always knew that he'd cause a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
I go back to the Accrington game, and he was getting beefed off the
Yes,
ball
yeah.
by Colby Bishop.
Yeah.
It's like you think, well, where's
Colby
the-
Bishop was a National League player last
Yeah,
season.
you think he's not.
And
Like, he wasn't big, was
he
he?
looked more natural. He looked more natural in League One than I've ever seen. He looked more natural than Norwood and Jackson together. Up
Yeah,
front.
but Toto just seems. I don't know. He just doesn't seem the physical presence he
That is
was
my
before.
concern, yeah. So Alan Armstrong and Marcus Stewart now walking off with Darlington. We come to the end of the first half now. Thanks for everyone for watching the first half. Make sure you join us in the second half as
Put
well.
the kettle on.
Make sure you put the kettle
Get
on.
the bobs on, Lou.
Get
Get
the
a bob
bobs
in,
on.
Lou.
Lou, I hope you're alright, mate. Haven't heard from you much this week. It'd be nice to hear from you, buddy. Oh dear, I've let
Smashing the
that drink.
place up.
But what we expected from the second half, 0-0 at half time, I thought it would be done and dusted by now.
For what? For Lincoln?
Yeah. Oh, look, Simon Miller's on there. Simon, if you're listening, mate. You all right, boy? Norris or Holy Keane, we've already gone over that, mate. You missed
Yeah,
that
you should have
about
got it earlier.
30 minutes ago, mate. He turns up at Colchester, but he can't turn up for the live stream. Paul.
He's got school in the morning, that's why.
Yeah, he has got school. He plays for St Joe's, you know that rugby team. Top rugby player, that boy.
They obviously play anyone these days.
A lot of good rugby players come from St Joe's, but we won't talk about rugby.
Rugby's fucking wank.
Oh,
So's cricket.
apparently I follows down, so
So everyone
everyone's
says.
flooding over
So
here.
we are the number
So
one.
we're the
stream.
number one network
Number one.
for Ipswich versus Lincoln. And I can tell you now, the game's been shite so far.
Yeah. Mariah Carey's rocked up and everything.
Bless her. That's half time, boys. By all accounts.
We signed Josh Windass from Wigan.
Windass.
We've linked with him before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Josh Windass, we could have got him before he went to Wigan actually, and I was devo when he didn't come. That was January actually, bit of January business last
Yeah.
year.
That was Toto bin. Tom,
So half time?
Tom Whitby
It's
said
half time.
Toto's man of the match.
Toto man of the match. Right, we'll leave it there, and we'll be back in the second half. Stay tuned.